Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of This Week in MD Fantasy Football. We don't have a special guest tonight as it's only me and the camera tonight, so nothing too special. I have invited myself as a special guest actually, so tune in for that. It'll be unique. In this week's action, Jay had the top score of the week again as he had 131 over Butter. He beat him 131 to 111, so good job, Jay. That's another $5. Nick S. took down Nick Wagner 102-94. Zach beat me 94 to 80. In a battle of the high division winners right now, or leaders, Tyler took out Greg 92-76. Also, Jeremy G took out Larry 82-56. And Jim beat Jeremy R 63 to 52. So let's look at the standings now for week 9. Greg leads Nick S and Larry and Jeremy R. Greg now has a magic number of 1 if he wins, or if Nick S loses, Greg will clinch the division and get the $25 for first place. Greg is 7-2, Nick S 3-6, Larry 2-6-1. And Jeremy R 2-7. In the gold division, still a good battle there. Tyler's 8-1 now. Zach 7-2. Jay 6-3, and Jim 3-5-1. And then when we go to the red here, that's fairly tight too. As Jeremy G is 5-4, Nick Wagner 5-4, and I'm 3-6. And Butter, despite scoring the most points in the division, is at 2-7, bringing up the rear. Well, as I mentioned, I don't have a special guest tonight, except myself, as I'll be performing a song I spent about 2.5 minutes writing, so it'll be extra special. We'll do that right now, so we'll be back in a second. Alright, we're back. And this is a little song I like to call the MD Fantasy Football song. And it goes something like this. This is the MD Fantasy Football song. We've got 12 owners that are going for it all. We've got Zach and Tyler and Greg and Nick. We've got other Nick and me and Butter and Jeremy. We've got Jeremy R and Jim and Jay. And don't forget there's also Larry. There's a division called green, gold, and red. Some players' playoff hopes are still alive, but some are dead. We've got a regular season that goes for 13 weeks, and my team's future playoff hopes are looking kind of bleak. This is the MD Fantasy Football song. I gotta shorten this up so it doesn't go too long. We've got 12 owners going for $400, and the Vikings blow, and the Bears still suck. Sexual chocolate. And we're back. The player points for this week. Jay has Aaron Rodgers for quarterback with 215. Chris Johnson for Nick S has 171 for running backs. We have Jay and Tyler tied up at 119 for wide receivers with Vincent Jackson and Miles Austin. Defense, Tyler still leads with the Saints with 125 points. And Greg still has the top kicker with Lawrence Tynes with 86. It's getting closer to playoffs now. We only have 4 weeks left of the regular season. So as we get closer here, next week's show will cover a little bit more about playoff seedings and scenarios and tiebreakers and things like that to get you set. Another thing too, on the web page as you're looking at it right now, if you look down on the left corner there, something that we kind of do fun every week is we issue a trophy for the weekly high score. You can see that. You can go up on the bar above there, the tabs up there, under trophies, and you can go in your own trophy room to see what trophies you've won. As the season progresses, we'll hand those out for weekly top scores, also for division winners, consolation bracket, second place champ, all that good stuff. So it's something to look at. Also, if you go up on the tab above here too, in transactions, you can track what you're spending in case you guys haven't been on it yet. You can track on what you and everybody else is spending. On the far right column is what you've paid, and if you notice, what I've put is as you win the weekly high score, add it to what you've paid. So if you're wondering why it says like 60 bucks on there, that means you've paid your 50 and you won 2 weeks of weekly top score. So getting back to week 10 here, the schedule. Zach takes on Nick Wagner, a little brotherly battle there. We've got Jim taking on Butter. Greg takes on Jeremy G. Jeremy R goes up against Jay. Larry takes on me. And Tyler goes against Nick S. Well, join us next time for week 10 as we wrap up this week's show. We hope you enjoyed it. We'll see you next time for This Week in MD Fantasy Football. So long, everybody.